Biomutant is the latest big release on GeForce Now, and today I'm here to give you my overall impressions and answer the question of whether or not it's worth picking up. I do want to give a quick thanks to Nvidia for providing a review key for this title, but rest assured that this will be my completely honest opinion of the game itself. All the gameplay you see here has been captured off a GeForce Now instance, and you can see just how easy it is to launch and boot up a brand new game on GeForce Now. Biomutant is an RPG open world post-apocalyptic game that has many moral decisions that you will have to make that will affect the world around you. And when I say RPG, I absolutely mean it. It has everything you've come to expect from the genre. You'll have skills to learn, attributes to improve, perks to choose from, and mutations as well. Right off the get-go, you're greeted with a character creator, and you do choose some attributes as well as a class. However, you're not locked into anything at all, and eventually you can learn all skills and use all weapons. Additionally, the game also features a dialogue system where you'll get to reply to certain characters, and many of these replies will either give you the option of the good or bad choice. All of the choices you make will play into the overall narrative within this beautiful, massive open world that you get to explore. Now, if all of this sounds extremely ambitious for a brand new IP to pull off successfully, well, that's because it kind of is, especially when you find out that the game itself was developed by 20 people. And to give credit where it's due, it's actually pretty crazy to see just how much they were able to pull off with such a small team. That being said, Biomutant has a lot on its plate. There's a huge amount of mechanics, variety of systems, and a lot of weapon types for you to experiment and play with. That being said, it feels like it's so much that they didn't really have time to tune each one to its maximum potential. Ultimately, what you're left with is a combat system that looks extremely cool, but doesn't feel as satisfying as it looks. A massive, beautiful open world to explore that is just a little bit too empty. And a narrative that gives you plenty of choices, but never really manages to draw you in. For every good point I can bring up about the game, I could give you a reason as to why it's not great. It's a constant feeling I had throughout my playtime with the game. I just couldn't get over the fact that everything, while cool, just didn't feel fully polished. Let me bring up the combat for example. When you see me launch one of these enemies into the air, that's me just pressing X 5 times. When you see me do that fire move where I burn them, that's me pressing X twice followed by Y. And that's really the amount of depth that there is when it comes to the overall combat systems. Obviously, there's a few more things than that, but nothing too complicated. And even when you switch a weapon, while you will see a different combo play out, the majority of the combo patterns that you have to input are pretty much the exact same. This ends up leading to the combat feeling a bit repetitive quite early on in the game. There are also ranged weapons and really neat skills that you can unlock and use that will alleviate some of that repetitiveness, but not by a whole lot. And just to be clear here, I'm not trying to be overly harsh on the game, I just can't help but feel like there's a lot of missed potential. This is exactly the type of game that I would love to see get continued support through patches. Whether it does or not, I don't know. But I do think that there is something very special underneath it all. The game has an interesting backdrop, it has very unique ideas, and it has a very beautiful visual art style. Here are some screenshots I've took of the world and my character in game using the photo mode. There is the makings of a great game here, and it is the style of game that does get better the more you play. As you unlock more things, you'll have more options on how to approach situations as well as more to do. So if the idea of grinding out levels, picking up loot, and taking on strongholds sounds interesting to you, you probably will still have a pretty fun time with the game. But to answer the question of whether or not I think Biomutant is worth picking up right now, I would personally say that it's best to hold on for a sale. That being said, if the overall concept is interesting to you and you do want to explore the world, I have no doubt that there is plenty of content for your dollar here. And if you can manage your expectations and tone them down just a bit, I have no doubt that some of you will walk away happy with spending full price for the game. As for those of you wanting to pick it up to play on GeForce Now through the cloud, well, as you can tell by all the gameplay, it ran perfectly smooth on maxed out settings. I ran into absolutely no issues throughout my entire playtime, and it was a great experience overall playing on their service. So if you are interested in cloud gaming and you do want to check out Biomutant, GeForce Now is a fantastic way to do so. Either way, that wraps up my thoughts on Biomutant on GFN. If you have any remaining questions about GeForce Now or Biomutant itself, leave them down in the comment section below and I'll answer what I can. As always, thank you for watching today's video. This has been the Virtual Cloud, giving you the latest and greatest on everything cloud gaming and VR, and until next time, I'll catch you in the clouds.